What up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. And today we are starting a new mini-series, a 5-part series, I guess, for Saturdays. And we are going to be going through and ranking every position in the NBA. Starters, not all of them are starters, but most of them are going to be prominent players on their team in the 2021-22 season. So thank you to Hoops Empire on Instagram for making this tier list. And let's go ahead and hop right into it. So we got Superstar. Obviously, that's the best of the best. Perennial All-Star, All-Star caliber, above average, average, and below average. So first off, we got Jalen Brunson for the Dallas Mavericks. Now let me go over here. I am going to go to NBA Reference. Let's go to NBAReference.com so we can pull up some statistics. It's Basketball Reference, excuse me. I should know that with how much I use this website. And if we need anything crazy or talk about anything, we'll check out that website and see. But we'll go ahead. Jalen Brunson, we'll go above average. He plays very well for the Mavericks. Let's look at his statistics. Jalen Brunson he's an above average point guard. For his career, he's averaging 10 points and 3 assists, right at 3 rebounds. So that's decent numbers. Last year he averaged 12, so he was up for his career average in points. And I definitely think that he could be a big piece in the Mavericks. Kind of, what would the word be? The Mavericks making their playoff push. He hasn't been anything huge in the playoffs from what I remember. He didn't play it all last year, or he didn't play the first 2 years, or they didn't make the playoffs. But he averaged 8 points last year, which is a big step down from 12 points in the regular season. I can't speak English at the moment. But we'll put him in above average. And obviously, Jamal Murray, second, is perennial All-Star. I wouldn't say superstar just yet. He needs to take a little bit more of a leap, in my opinion, to get that status. We'll keep it going here without looking at his statistics. But if he plays like he did in the bubble all year round, he is a definite superstar caliber player that is worthy of a supermax contract. But if he kind of has some iffy seasons, struggles with injuries, in my opinion, he's not a superstar just yet. And now for the Pistons, we have Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes kind of came on the scene late last year, but I'm going to put him at below average. I don't think he's going to be anything crazy. He could be a starting point guard eventually. Like I said, he came on a little later in the scene. I think below average is good for him right now. Not where he's going to be in the future. This is not a potential season outlook ranking. This is just where I think he's going to be right now. And below average is fair for him. And we have Stephen Curry. No doubt about it. Superstar right there. Struggled the last couple years with injuries. The Warriors haven't been as far since KD left. I think they'll be back this year. And I'm excited to see Klay Thompson back on the court. John Wall now, he is an interesting one. I'm going to put him above average for now. But let's look. John Wall, before he was on the Houston Rockets, John Wall was one of the best point guards in the NBA. 2016-17, at 26 years old, he's averaging 23 points, 2 steals, almost 11 assists, 4 rebounds, and he had 5 straight All-Star appearances. Missed an entire season in 2019, and people forget he averaged 20 points in this last season, so he's obviously good still. It's just he doesn't really fit the Rockets roster plans for the future, and he's making $44 million, and he has a player option, so nobody's going to want to trade for him unless they have they're a definite finals team. But I do think he's lost some of his mojo a little bit. He's not as fast or as athletic as he used to be. So I'll just stick him in the above average. Malcolm Brogdon will stick in the above average. I'm a big fan of him. As a Bucks fan, I did not want to see him go. And it is what it is, but he has been balling out in Indiana. And Indiana doesn't get a lot of attention, unfortunately. So I kind of feel bad for him. He's kind of forgotten. And he's a good player, though. So let's go on to Reggie Jackson, and I'm gonna put him. Let's put him at the beginning, close. This will be in order. So we'll put all these guys in order of where they're at. So Reggie Jackson, I think, is as far above average as you can go without being an all-star caliber. That is kind of biased in the recent media buzz around him from the playoffs, but he played his heart out in the playoffs. Let's see, what did he average in the playoffs? He basically, Kawhi Leonard was out, and Reggie Jackson almost single-handedly led them past that Phoenix Suns in that series. He's been good for a while now. People don't realize 18 points in Detroit. That was his career high. But in the playoffs, 17 points, only 1.5 turnovers, 3 assists, and he shot really efficiently, 59% from the field. So yeah, he balled out in the playoffs. He got himself a new contract, and I think he'll be good for the Clippers this year. And coming up next, we have a guy traded from the Clippers and average. Patrick Beverly, never been a big fan of him. Great defender. Doesn't bring you much on offense, and he's just very toxic. And I feel like he's very, very, what would the word be? He's not worth the trouble he brings in. So yeah, that's my thoughts on him. I understand why people like him. I understand why people think he's a good point guard, but that's just my personal opinion. And let's move on to Russell Westbrook, where perennial all-star. We'll put him in all-star caliber because he's probably going to fall off a little bit with the Lakers this year, being a really third option behind LeBron and AD. So that should be interesting to see how he's able to mold. And if I could see if he's able to mold well with them, he could be a perennial all-star with the Lakers in his time there. But also I could see if he's not able to mold well with that Lakers organization and play his role, he could be down here as an above-average point guard. So yeah, John Morant, we'll put him in front of Westbrook. John Morant, I'm a huge fan. He's actually from South Carolina. That's where I'm from. Spartanburg, I believe. Him or Zion, one or the other, are from there. He is from South Carolina, though. He played at Murray State, I believe, in college. I've been a big fan of him. He's such a humble dude. I hope he gets one of his posters one of these days. He always goes for big posterizers, but is just barely misses them. The Grizzlies got a bright future with him at the point guard position, and I think he can definitely be an all-star caliber. And if he takes a leap this season, I think he can be a perennial all-star. That's just my opinion. Lonzo Ball, we'll put him right here. No, we'll put him behind John Wall in the above-average category. I do think Bulls fans are kind of taking this out of proportion. He's a great pickup. He's a great defender. Passing-wise, he's amazing. Still doesn't bring everything you'd want offensively. Let's see. Since his, I was about to say freshman season, his rookie season, let's see what he's been up to. 14 points, that's way up compared to what he's done in the past. And I think he'll just continue to improve. I don't think he'll be anything better than above average in his career because he was kind of hyped up and fell off completely. But I think above average is a good place to put him. And Trae Young, the old ratty lollipop superstar caliber for sure. The Hawks have a massive future with him at their point guard position. He's going to probably go down as one of the greatest point guards of all time if he continues the trajectory he's on. As a Bucks fan, I can admit I was scared for a second there playing them in that round until he got hurt. Obviously, that helped us win just a little bit. And I was a little nervous at first. I thought maybe they had a shot after how he was playing. He was hitting anything and everything. So, yeah, I definitely think he's a superstar. Not up there with Steph, obviously, yet. But I do think he's going to be one day. And Drew Holiday, I am a little biased. I really want to put him in all-star caliber. Drew Holiday is such an underrated point guard. He's probably, so many people say he's the best defender in the NBA, and I think that's probably true. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I'm going to put him, I'll put him right here. Now, I'll put him at the beginning of above average. He could easily be in that all-star caliber. I personally think he is, but I could see why people would have an issue with me putting him there because, I'm a Bucks fan, so of course I'm going to believe he's the top player, an all-star caliber point guard. He brings so much to the team. We wouldn't have been able to win without him this past year, so that's where I'm going to leave it at that. D'Angelo Russell now, above average. For as long as he's in Minnesota, I think he's above average because Minnesota just can never get anything going. They have talent on that team, just not enough talent. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm not a big fan of. I don't think he's a guy you can build around. But I do think they have a solid base. And I think Karl Anthony Towns can easily be a second star and maybe molded into a first star. But D'Lo just... He's great. He plays well offensively, not good on defense. And I'm kind of in the opinion that's empty stats. He kind of just does well on bad teams, and he did help the Nets make the playoffs that one year, so I don't really know what to say too much about him. I'll put him at the beginning, right here behind Drew Holiday. And Devonta Graham, average for right now. Played amazing 2 seasons ago. Let's pull up his stats. He had a great year in Devonta Graham. He had a great year in Charlotte 2 seasons ago, averaging 18 points, almost 8 assists. We'll round up for him. 18 points, 8 assists on great shooting. Last year was a little bit down, 15 points on 6 assists. That's obviously because LaMelo Ball came in. And I'll actually put him at the very end of above average. And I think he's going to be a decent player for the Pelicans. The Pelicans, he's not going to be anything crazy. People have figured out his game, but he's still talented. You're in the NBA, you're obviously talented. So I think he's going to be a good piece for the New Orleans Pelicans, and I can't really say too much about him. Derrick Rose, I have so many in the above average tier. I'm going to put Derrick Rose right here. He's on the Knicks still, and I think he'll be a helpful piece for them. Nothing much to say about him. He's probably going to come off the bench behind Kemba Walker, and say what you want about it. He's played great off the bench so far, and I believe that he's revitalized his career now, and he's definitely going to be a top in the Hall of Fame. And I think with New York, he's going to play well. They should make the playoffs again. I don't know if they'll push far in the playoffs, but they should be in it. And here's his teammate. I'm interested to see how they handle Kemba and Derrick Rose. And I'm going to put him actually way back here. It's crazy. Kemba Walker in Charlotte was that guy. I went to a couple Charlotte games where he played, and that guy was crazy. He would hit anything and everything. If you guys remember, I might put it in the video right here. There's a step back shot against Nikola Mirotic. I think he misses it, but he just completely obliterates the dude's ankles. And obviously, Cardiac Kemba, probably the greatest... one of the greatest March Madness runs of all time. He's a good player. Not as great as he used to be, but he'll be above average for the Knicks. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I'm a huge fan of. I'm actually going to put him right here. He's an all-star caliber, and he is one day going to be a superstar in the NBA. He hasn't hit that just yet, but I think once the Thunder have the right pieces and are good, he will definitely hit that superstar talent or tier. And there's not much to say about him besides he's going to be great, and I'd go ahead and buy in on him right now if you guys can, because you don't want to be called bandwagons when he's winning championships. So let's see where we're at now. We're at Cole Anthony. I'm going to say average. He's got promise. Cole Anthony has promise. Let's look at his statistics for this last year. I actually just found out he's Greg Anthony's son, so that was weird for me. I feel like I should have known that. Yeah, relatives Greg Anthony. 12 points. Well, we'll round for him. 13 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Not great shooting, 33%, 42%. You don't really expect great shooting from a rookie, but I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Maybe not a superstar. Maybe not all-star, but next year he could be above average in that category at least. Markelle Fultz, his teammate, going right beside him there. Fultz never lived up to the hype. I don't think he ever will. But similar to Anthony, he could be above average one day. I don't think he'll ever be all-star caliber, though. Ben Simmons, I'm actually a big fan of Ben Simmons. If you guys watched my video on him, I think the 76ers completely fumbled the bag on this one. I think he's all-star caliber. Great defender, great playmaker. He's great in the paint. I understand the downfall in this playoffs and how that can be seen as a very big risk taking him on your team if he's afraid to take shots. But I think he's just too good intangible-wise and numbers-wise to pass up on. Dennis Schroeder, or Schroeder, however you pronounce it, above average for sure. Struggled in LA. He kind of didn't really want to be on that bench spot. Excuse me. And I can understand why after coming off of that great season in OKC. Where would I put him on here, though? I'll put him right there. He's going to be decent in Boston. Nothing crazy. He did lose out on like $84 million, so that's maybe should put him in the average tier just for being that bad of a moneymaker. But he still makes millions and makes more than I probably ever will, so you keep doing you, Dennis. Chris Paul, all-star caliber. He's no longer a perennial all-star or a superstar in my opinion. I think that's fair right there. We'll actually let's put him up here ahead of these guys. And yeah, I think he played well in his first finals. Unfortunately, and fortunately as a Bucks fan, we won. But for him, that might be the last chance he's really got to get that close and have that much of a chance to win. 2 games away. Yeah, I just think maybe that might be it for him, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as one of the greatest point guards to ever touch an NBA court, in my opinion, one of the most talented at least. So he has nothing to worry about. Damian Lillard, superstar in front of Trae Young, behind Steph. Damian Lillard, much like Steph Curry, no questions asked. He's the superstar. Unfortunately, Portland's not that great, but what are you going to do? He loves that place, and he is going to be a great player in the future. De'Aaron Fox, all-star caliber. Put him behind Shea, behind Chris Paul. Not to demean him, but I think Chris Paul's a little better. That could be because he's in Sacramento, but De'Aaron Fox, yeah, he's great. He's speedy. He's fast, whether they call him Swipe-a-Fox or whatever. He's going to be a great player in the future. He hasn't done too much in Sacramento, but I mean, can you really blame him? Luke Walton's your head coach. Your second best player at times has been Buddy Hield, who's decent but nothing crazy. So yeah, I think he's got a bright future, whether he's in Sacramento or not. So yeah, he's going to be an all-star caliber player. Deshante Murray from the Spurs series, so shout out to him. I actually like Deshante Murray a lot. Let's look at his statistics. Deshante Murray, I hope you guys can see this. I'm just now thinking maybe OBS isn't changing over. Yeah, we're good. Deshante Murray from Washington, 15 points last year, 5 assists, a steal, 1.5 steals, 7 rebounds, which is great for a point guard. He's a lockdown defender. If he can improve his shooting, he might be able to get into that all-star caliber territory. But I think San Antonio's got a bright future with him as their point guard. Maybe not as 1 or 2 option, but a 3 option is probably the best case scenario for him. So I think above average is safe for now. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Goran Dragic, above average right here behind Drew Holiday. Not much to say about him. He's going to score. He's going to play decent defense and play make. Unfortunately, he's in Toronto, and he is 35, 36, I believe. So his career for winning is probably over. Actually, let's see. Does it say contracts on here? Can we look at contracts? Yeah. Let's look at contracts. How long is he under contract? Because I want to see if he's under contract for maybe 2 years, he's done for. Yeah, he's 35. And his current contract, okay, he's only under a 1-year deal. So he'll be able to get out of there, maybe get on a contender for a low deal next year. So that's good for him. I think above average is safe for him. Fred VanVleet, all-star caliber. He kind of took a step back last year, but the entire Raptors organization took a step back last year. 19 points, he did get better, but overall as a team player, he stepped back. Like I said, the Raptors just took a leap back last year. I think he'll be right back up here as all-star caliber again next year. And he's only 26, 27 now, excuse me. All-star caliber is fine for him. Mike Conley. Mike Conley is... I don't know where to put Mike Conley at. I'm going to put him right smack dab in the middle. I think he's a little better than these guys. Let's put him right here. He's good for what the Jazz need. They don't need him to be a superstar. And they just need him to score, play defense. That's what he's good for. Maybe a couple years ago he would have been all-star. Nothing special there. Jordan Clarkson, his teammate, actually. I'll put him right around here. I actually love Jordan Clarkson's game. He's a great guy off the bench, and he can start when you need him to, when injuries arise. And he plays with hustle and emotion, and I like that about a player. So above average, right in the middle there. Peyton Pritchard, we'll put it average for now. We'll put it at the very beginning. He's got a bright future ahead of him from Oregon. Boston's got a good guy there at point guard. I think maybe next year will be his year starting. I think Dennis Schroeder will start this year. And yeah, he'll probably shine this year and may even get the starting spot at the end of the season, but I don't think he comes out as the starter. Kyrie Irving, superstar in front of Trae Young. If healthy, Kyrie is probably one of the best point guards, and definitely one of the best point guards in the NBA. Top 3 in my opinion. He's got the best handles in the NBA in my opinion. And only problem is he never stays healthy. He kind of has a lot of off the court issues. So it'll be interesting to see how the Nets handle that this year. LaMelo Ball, all-star caliber already in my opinion. He played great last year. He's only going to get better. The Charlotte Hornets are exciting to watch, and I could see them making the playoffs this year under LaMelo. So that's an interesting one to think about. Terry Rozier, we'll put him somewhere here in the above average. Not right there. Not in front of these guys, but yeah, right here looks fine for me. I think Terry Rozier takes a little bit of a step back this year, but he played great last year. The Hornets got a nice player there, and not much to say about him either. Darius Garland... there's so many difficult ones. I think he's better than these guys. Him and Colin Sexton are going to be a dynamic duo if they stay together. I have seen some trade rumors for Colin Sexton, so that's something to think about. But he has a bright future ahead of him. He's great offensively. Needs to work on defense a little bit. But overall, he's got a really bright future on the Cavaliers team. They have a good future with Jared Allen as well as the starting center. Ricky Rubio... average. I actually would take him under Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz. I'm not. Is he back in Minnesota? I can't remember where Ricky Rubio's ended up at. Let's see where Ricky Rubio ended up at. He's played since 2012. That's crazy to think about. He is back in Minnesota. That's what I thought. Yeah, he's back in Minnesota, so he's all right. He's great defensive. He's good defensively. A great passer, a great playmaker overall. Nothing special. He's just an average point guard. Kyle Lowry. Oh wait, we skipped. Luka Doncic, superstar level. The other day we did the video on all-time teams. The Mavericks. He's already the second best player all-time for the Dallas Mavericks. So take that how you want. He's going to be a superstar of the future and probably going to go down as probably one of the greatest Mavericks of all time. Or maybe the second, depends on what you think about Dirk. Obviously, Dirk's number 1 right now. And last but not least, Kyle Lowry. Perennial all-star. He's aging a little bit, but he's got some great years left ahead of him. Miami looks to contend for a title with him as their new starting point guard over Goran Dragic. I'm excited to see what they can do. Hopefully they can't beat the Bucks. And yeah, this is my finalized list. I have a lot of guys in the above average category because I don't think any of them are all-star caliber. I mean, you could argue Drew Holiday, Goran isn't really there anymore, but you could argue Drew, D'Lo, Derrick Rose. You could argue really most of these guys are all-star caliber. But yeah, I don't think they're there yet, or some of them were and aren't anymore. So that's how I'm going to keep it. I'm going to move Devonta Graham down here to average above these guys right here because I don't know if he's right here. Even Jalen Brunson, I think, is a little bit ahead of Devonta Graham. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about my tier list. I think it's a pretty fair and even tier list. I didn't really take into account any players that I dislike, like Kyrie Irving or Trae Young. Trae Young simply because he almost beat us in the playoffs, so that's the main reasoning for that one. But like I said, comment down below what you guys think about this tier list. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. It helps out the channel. Hit the like button. That also helps. Make sure to follow my Instagram and Twitter. The links are always in the description down below. I'm much more active on Instagram, but I do have a Twitter account if you guys need to contact me or talk to me or want to get in touch for any future video ideas. Yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and adios.